This podcast was brought to you by Uncle Jeep Productions. Hey guys, and welcome everyone to the Triple G Podcast. I'm your host, Uncle Jeep, and with me is Host Trip Media Gaming. We record this podcast live every week at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On today's episode, Drip, we're talking about the Switch 2. There's more rumors. I'm sorry if you're tired of them already in 2024, but listen, this is what it's going to be for the rest of them until we get it. I'm not going to lie. Not every week, but we're going to find different things, different angles to talk about this thing as much as we can until Nintendo can give us something better to talk about. But tonight, I think we have done that, and we're also going to talk about we're going to have a little fun tonight, because I saw an article on Nintendo Life, and Nintendo Life made me laugh. And you guys should all, if you're not already, subscribed to their whatever they have over there, YouTube and website links. They're a wonderful group of guys over there. The video on YouTube, and as well as their reading content on their website is awesome. And we're gonna reference an article tonight. But Drip, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. So listen, I have a weird story.
Yeah.
Right before the podcast, I was supposed to be looking up stuff for the podcast and, getting things ready, which I ended up doing. I got that. It happened. But I went on a weird plant thing, weird plant journey right before the podcast. So I have these things in my garage. They're like these giant, I don't know. They're potters, right? But it's like a 3-tiered thing, and they've got grow lights on each one. So I decided I was going to go into the garage, get all this stuff out, put new soil in it, cut a bunch of plants up, propagate a bunch of shit, put it in soil. So now I have like 100 baby plants upstairs in my dining room.
Yeah.
And I did that instead of getting ready for the podcast. I don't know why I did that. I said I was going to do it like 3 days ago. But then I had that feeling. You know what I'm talking about? That ADHD feeling where I'm just like, it's happening. This is happening right now.
Yeah, I don't know if I have ADHD. I've not tested. I have lots of other issues. But I don't know if I have that one. But I certainly have some symptoms that maybe would qualify for at least a test. But I know what you're talking about, man. With the whole hour that we had, you and I, trying to set this podcast up today, we were all over the place. We kept starting something and forgetting about something. But
you took your tree down. You did the same thing.
While I
was propagating plants.
Yes.
You were taking down Christmas decorations.
Yes. Well, not all of them. Obviously, you can actually see the snowman above my head right now. It's actually bothering me because I want Christmas gone. But yeah, excuse me. I took down the Christmas tree from behind me. No, not humbug. I'm just like, I'm ready to move on, Like Christmas is come and gone.
What are we at? We're at the 10th?
Yeah, it's time.
I got like 5 more days. I'll probably do it next week sometime, midweek.
I think my grandmother always used to, or was it my dad? I don't remember who. Somebody in the family would always be like, no, the 25th, because that's some sort of Catholic/Italian thing.
Of January?
Yeah.
I think it's a religious.
I think it's a religious thing. I think Catholic.
I put my tree up very early and I take it down very late. But the 25th, that's insanity. That's crazy.
I believe it's a religious thing.
What is it? What religion?
Catholic. I said it. Catholic. I believe the Catholics.
Okay. Well, that's wild.
I think there's some sort of Catholic thing that says it doesn't say you must keep your decorations up to the 25th. No, but I think the 25th signifies the end of something about Christ and the Christmas thing, because Christmas is a Christian thing. Hence, Jesus.
Yeah, whatever.
But yeah,
whatever.
Anyway.
Okay. Yeah. I say the 15th. That's the end. I put them up the day after Halloween.
Yeah.
January 15th, they come down. At least you have that big, long time where it's like, I don't have to worry about putting these away. I mean, the people who put their stuff up right before and then take it down right after, like,
they're psychotic.
Maniacs.
They're psychotic.
That's crazy. Like, why do you want to do all that work? It's like for nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of all this work for nothing, we're going to make a whole nother episode about Switch 2 rumors that are probably nothing. And the first one we're going to go over here, I know RGT made the video that I watched, and Spawnwave, I believe, covered it too. But I'm sure this news has been out there for the past week or so after our last episode. And we got basically a little mini spec sheet to share with you guys. But first, the most obvious thing that came out with this most recent leak, or rumor, I should say, is the second half of the year. The Switch 2 coming out in the second half of 2024. I think we all can agree, if it's coming out this year, it's definitely coming out the second half. We're not talking about.
I really don't. Yeah,
we're not talking about announcements. We're talking about like literally when we're going to have it.
I don't see.
There's no way it's first half.
To even have that happen, they'd have to announce it like next month or this month. It would have to happen very soon if it's going on the front. I mean,
yeah, and which is possible. And a January, February direct is possible, but again, very unlikely.
See, I don't know if they're not going to do a direct. They're going to do like an event. It'll be like a live, not like it'll be like on a stage. Press will be there. It'll be like a whole thing, an unveiling, like they did for the Switch. I'm sure that's how they'll do it.
Love that because for me, being a Nintendo fan now, which I wasn't when the Switch came out, that would be awesome because that'd be my first Nintendo event, true event. I've only ever had directs to look at. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, and like they used to do that stuff they did it at E3. Yeah, like when Reggie was there, and it was like the Wii U. My God, that's the whole thing. We're gonna get into that too later, but I mean, that was the last one before the Switch was the Wii U. They did that. They did the Wii. I think was also at E3, that type of an event. But I mean, at this point, I just don't. I don't see it happening anytime in the first half of this year. That's insane at this point.
Yeah. Well, again, I think it's a foregone conclusion. I think we're getting a second half. But again, moving on.
September.
Yeah, I think September is a really good month to look at. Not our set list strip, but quick to mention, Kit and Krista, former Nintendo employees, have their show, the Kit and Krista podcast, whatever it's called.
They do.
And I believe
never watched that one either.
I believe they're a good watch. I think they're a little bit long for my taste, but we're a similar length, so I mean I can't talk too much about it. But no.
I watch nothing. You're like the Nintendo podcast. I'm like, who the fuck is that? Oh no, I do know who they are. Never watched it. Yeah, I know who they are too.
Yeah.
Never watched it. I feel like I should start doing that. Maybe send me an episode or something.
Do what I do and just check them out periodically. I mean, I'm not like there's so much content to watch which is why I appreciate our audience for being here because there's so much content, especially Nintendo, to watch and listen to.
There is.
We appreciate you guys being here, truly. Anyway,
sure.
Kate and Krista mentioned, I believe they think September. They kind of came to their conclusion that September would be a really good time to put it out. So, and I trust them because they are former Nintendo employees. So they have I trust them more than most people on YouTube. For that reason alone, I mean, they've
been on the inside.
They've been there. They've worked there for a decade plus.
Yeah.
So
they kind of know how things work. I mean, at least a little bit. They probably don't know everything. They don't know all the secrets. Yeah. But they know more than we know.
That's for damn sure. And most of those idiots who talk on the internet. That's for sure. But next up, the price.
The price.
I think. Gobble gobble. I think the price is in this rumor. I keep saying leaks, but you know what I mean. In this rumor is starting at $400. I don't think that's very controversial. I think that's a good price point if they deliver on what we are hoping for. Now, again, I always say this, and I'll repeat it again. Expectation is the thief of joy. And if we're expecting too much, not talking about price, but I'm talking about the console. If we're expecting too much, if people want 1080p, 120 hertz, 5 hours battery life, what else crazy thing? PS5 graphics.
Didn't I hear that somewhere the other day? That the screen might be 120 hertz?
Yeah, actually, I think that I watched RDT's video again for the second time, and I think he mentions it, but I forgot to add it. I think he talks about 120 hertz, 1080p.
Okay, can I ask? Let me ask a very simple question. Why?
It's not necessary. People, there is a market. If you people, I don't know who you are, but you know who you are. If you're somebody who wants 1080p screen with 120 hertz, you're in the wrong market, friends. You go get an ROG Ally. Go get the MSI Claw.
I don't understand why.
Go get the Steam Deck. This is not the market for you. This is not a handheld PC.
Let me add. Let's bring this back to reality here for a second.
Yeah.
What fucking game on the Nintendo Switch is going to be running 120 frames per second?
Not a damn one. Maybe the 3D Mario.
And I know
3D
it's
Mario.
the Switch 2, whatever. Yeah, it's going to have more power, this and that. But what other handheld console is running anything at 120?
Like Celeste.
But I'm saying,
indie
nothing's
games.
going to do that.
All these indie games that look great. But
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe,
maybe
will
even
run
that
at 120 frames per second for 4K docked.
I get what you guys are saying,
Get
but
some.
all you freaking need in the next Nintendo Switch, you don't need anything more than a 720p screen that is about 7 inches, give or take, and has a 60 hertz display. 90 would be nice. 90 is cool. 90 is a nice little difference. My phone screen is 90 hertz. I bought my phone about 4 years ago, and that was at the time where 90 hertz was becoming more common in smartphones. That's a nice jump. If you've seen that jump, it's a nice little jump. And that's what the Switch could use, because some of these indie titles, mainly 2D, could utilize that, and it would be really nice. But for anything else, it's pretty damn pointless. Unless you want a beefy Steam Deck or something like that, where that's the intention of the device is to push its limits and tinker, go for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, and I'm not saying that, like, okay, that's completely not going to happen. I guess it's possible to happen, but I mean, let's be honest here. What are the chances of us actually getting a Nintendo Switch 2 that's running games? I mean, honestly, if we can get everything to 60, I would be more than happy. More than happy.
4K 30 is way more likely than 1080 120. Like, those to run 4K 30 takes a similar amount of processing power than 1080 120. And if Nintendo had their what's that term, brothers, something like that. If Nintendo had their choice, you could either put this Mario game out at 4K 30, or you could do it at 1080 120. I think it's an easy 4K, because that's branding, dude. People are going to go look at 120.
Yeah.
People are like, what the hell? The consumer's like, what the hell is 120?
No, you're right.
But people know what 4K are. People know
especially
what 4K
the Nintendo crowd.
Yeah.
Just put 4K. Yeah, you don't need 120. Just say 4K. And even if it's upscaled, docked, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I want to clarify that while I think docked mode, it would be cool if if it supported 1080 120, right? But for handheld mode, that's mainly where I'm speaking from. There's no need to have a 1080p 120 hertz display in handheld mode, because all that's going to do is make your handheld mode less, your experience less.
Yeah.
And I'll let you go, but let me one more example. The Steam Deck, where I'm playing a lot of stuff right now.
Yeah.
It's really great. I love pushing the Steam Deck to its limits. That's my favorite thing. I never, like, there's all these options performance-wise where you can change between better battery, better performance. I never choose the better battery life, because that's not what that device is for, in my opinion. It's not for long-term gaming on the go. That thing is for playing your PC games mobile. And for me,
for
I want to push it to its limits, because I want to see how good I can get the picture while sitting on the toilet.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that actually that sets up the point I want to make anyway. Something like that is for people who are the enthusiasts, people who are really into it, really want to do that type of stuff. Let's say even if a Nintendo Switch 2 supports 120, okay? Let's say it does. How many regular ass Nintendo owners, moms and dads, families, this and that, even have a TV in their house that can support that?
Very few.
Not a lot.
Very few. I mean, this TV
That's what I'm saying.
For example, I just bought a TV very recently. It's the newer model of TCL. That's a budget TV and one of the newer TVs. So this is a good representation of what's on the market right now for an affordable price, which most people in the world, especially if they got kids, are buying the affordable options, not the high-end stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And what's affordable right now, this was about $350. It's a 55-inch screen with a I think they technically call it 120, but it's really...
It's 60,
It's really 60.
It's always in half, They say 120, it means 60. They say 60,
so
it's actually 30.
It's 4K, 55 inches, you're getting 60 hertz out of it. Okay. Yeah. That is what the affordable TV these days, assuming you're called 350 affordable, because you can get cheaper, but I believe that's safely in the affordable category of televisions. It's better
than what, I mean, there's TVs that are obviously way more expensive than that.
But so the average person is going to buy a TV similar to this one in 2024. Right. And that's the specs that it has. If they even are somewhat in the know of tech, and they know if they know what they're buying, which most families don't know what they're buying. They're just buying.
That's what I'm
they're
saying.
buying whatever. If they even know, they know that 4K is good, and they think that it would be cool if their games could run at 4K because that's what they got now.
And I think the crowd that buys. And I'm not even going to talk about the Steam Deck PC stuff like that. I'm going to talk about like other consoles. The Xbox Series X people, the PlayStation 5 people are a little bit more concerned with frame rates and 4K and 8K and whatever the hell. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They are more concerned with that. And I know. I'm not saying that every person that owns a Nintendo Switch doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. That's not what I'm saying.
That's not what either of us are saying.
I am saying most people buying a Nintendo Switch are buying it for their kids. They're buying it because they just want to play some Mario. They just want to play some Zelda, this and that. Not because they're a hardcore enthusiast. Give me that 120 frames per second 4K stuff. They're not. They don't fucking care about it.
Yeah.
I don't see any point. That's my whole point in this whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't see any point in 120 frames per second on a Nintendo Switch 2. Doesn't make any sense to me.
There's a market blooming in front of our eyes right now. We just got the MSI Claw at CES, right? Like there's a market blooming in front of our eyes of all these amazing devices that are made for enthusiasts. And if you didn't know you're an enthusiast, you know now if you're looking for this Nintendo Switch to have 1080 120 because that puts you in the enthusiast category. The normal person
listen,
does not want that.
Don't get me wrong. If it has that,
yeah,
cool. Like I'll be so happy. It's not going to.
No.
But if it does, of course, yeah, I'm going to be very excited. How many games are going to actually utilize that? 4, 3, maybe. I don't know, but not a lot.
Right.
I just don't really see the point in it. All right, what else we got?
Well, I need one more. We will move on after this. One more point. You can rebuttal if you choose. It's unnecessary on the particularly the handheld screen because all that's going to do is reduce your battery life. That's all it's going to do. And in handheld, you don't want that.
I would argue that different.
Why?
And I know you're right about the battery thing, but at that point, kind of going back to what I just said about people don't own TVs like that. If the screen you are providing can handle that, okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, but
you're right about the battery thing, though. If the handheld screen that you're looking at it on can do 120, and then they're like, okay, yeah, we're gonna do this. That is pretty cool because then you can actually see what it is. Like, holy crap, my TV can't do that, but look at that.
Maybe 720p 120. Just not 10. I know the pixels are nicer. I'm not ignoring that 1080p. We had a whole conversation last week.
Yes, we did.
About 1080p, 4K, 1440p, all that.
I know.
Watch that one. Listen to that podcast if you're confused about my opinion. But as far as this year, I prefer in handheld to get the most battery life possible for a Nintendo Switch. For my Steam Deck, no, I'm pushing that thing. I'm only getting an hour of gameplay if I'm playing off a wall. Because I want the best graphics possible. I'll just plug it in. If I want better battery life.
Yeah, when I had that
but for my Switch, no, man, I want 5 hours. I don't want to worry about battery life.
And I don't like plugging the Switch in while I'm playing it anyway because where the charge sucks. It's in such a terrible place. I know why it's there. I understand because I hate that. Absolutely hate that. The fact that it's on the top with the Steam Deck, even with my Portal, it's on the bottom, but it's in the back. It's like across that white arm, so it's not
great.
Way better.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's nice. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. We have a couple more things to talk about. We haven't gotten to the main punch of this segment, this is kind of starting it. The 64 gigabytes of internal storage is what's rumored. That's too low.
It's way too low. Man.
We can argue about that, but there's no need to.
That's insane. That is insane.
Listen, storage is cheap, and I know they need to save costs. But that's
not where you do it, though.
You do it, but I'm thinking for me, my mind, 128 was the lowest they could go, but that's still enough to get games on the system without the need.
You know what I'm curious about? Is how big are the Nintendo Switch 2 games going to be compared to Nintendo Switch games?
That's another podcast in the future, I'm sure.
I know, yeah, that's a whole conversation. I mean, what's the biggest one? Tears of the Kingdom?
Yeah.
From Nintendo. Yes, we know the basketball games are like stupidly, ridiculously large.
Yeah, that is the biggest. Yeah.
And what is it? 20-some?
No. I mean,
16?
No, it's right around 16. It's right around the size of a 16 gig card.
Okay. Even that. Let's say it's I mean, I know they're still small, but let's say that, I guess just for conversational purposes here, we'll just say that doubles. We'll say it's like 32 is like a regular Nintendo Switch 2 game, right?
Yeah.
So you can put 2 games on there?
32 is, that's high. That's not a regular. I think a regular game, regular games, that's even hard to say.
Okay, let's say the regular games are 16.
Yeah,
and the big
that's
ones
more
are like
fair.
32.
That's more fair, yeah.
Still, you're getting 3 games on there.
That's not.
4.
It's not enough. It's not enough.
No, it's not even close.
Never going to be enough as we get older here in our lives. Like as we get further and further into technology, file sizes of everything grow. And I know that was a cool bump. I think that was enough for the OLED because the old model was only 32, but it's not cool for the next one. 64 has got to go up from there. It's got 128 for me is the minimum.
I don't even think that's the minimum. That's insane.
I think 256
They're
is
going to charge $400
I just
for this
bought
thing?
a 256 SD card for $18. And
Okay,
it's gonna be even cheaper than that for the Switch as far as mass production and
yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I've got a terabyte card.
It's not where you have to.
Which is
256 is an easy starting point for the next.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It should definitely have that. I honestly I think it's a little like it's embarrassing. It's got 64. Like,
well, that's
this?
iPhone. I mean, that's iPhones. They do the same damn thing. And they used to, at least. I'm not sure what they do nowadays.
I think they're a little more than that now.
Well, they're definitely more now, but they're always at the Apple products always have the least amount of storage compared to their competitors because they can get
I think
away
256 is like the smallest one.
Is it? I know for a long, long time we were rocking 8 gigabytes. I remember the days.
Oh yeah, I know. I had one.
We're not talking about iPods. iPods is a whole different conversation because those started even worse. But that's the times were different. But as far as like the iPhones and stuff, like we're talking like 8 gigs and like 16 gigs was a big deal.
Yeah,
and that was low because comparable Androids were doing 32.
The Wii U when it came out was 8 gigabytes,
and that's insanely low. I mean, that's insanely low.
Yeah. I mean, it's fucking crazy. Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah.
Then they had the black one, which was the 32 gigabyte one.
I want to clarify, even for the time, the early 2010s, that's insanely low.
Yeah. For a console, yeah, it's nuts. Because you're talking about that was what, 360 and PlayStation?
Not even. I mean, that's the end of the life of those two consoles.
Yeah. And then we're going into PlayStation 4.
Which I don't know what those started with, but it was an 8.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it was 500, wasn't it?
Maybe.
Am I wrong?
Maybe.
Was it 256?
I don't know. We don't.
Because I mean, eventually it went to 500 and a terabyte, right?
I'm not sure.
The Pro had a terabyte.
Yeah.
I think. I'm pretty sure.
Anyway, and the biggest talking point of all this, is storage aside, is the RAM. That's what everyone's been getting their britches in their whatever.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that in the beginning. So it's 8 gigabytes is the new rumor. Last week the rumor was what, 12? Right. And that's the one I keep hearing.
12
and now
is
all of a
weird.
sudden this new one.
12 is weird.
12 is weird. It's very weird. The fact that it's just not 16.
Yeah.
It's strange. I mean, 8 is like a number you hear, like an actual
and
thing.
I'm assuming that's not counting the VRAM, the video RAM that's required for gaming consoles. It probably is going to have, 2 gigs of video RAM, possibly, maybe 4 if at 8. But like if it's like 12, okay, we're getting nerdy here with all the numbers. The point of this,
I can't get too deep into this. I just know. Here's my question. Let me ask you this because I asked you this before, and this is kind of what I'm worried about here. If it is 8, and we're talking about all this other stuff, like, is that enough?
Yeah.
And does DLSS, if that's what we're going to be relying on to make all this happen, does that like how does that work? Does that require a lot of RAM? I'm not 100% certain. I don't know these things. I want to know the answers to this.
The only thing that I know that I can tell you is that the DLSS is going to require CPU power. It's going to require the brain of your console to work harder because it's using the brain to kind of add in graphical stuff where it doesn't normally exist.
It's computing things in real time.
That's computing, right? That's CPU related stuff. So the RAM isn't directly connected to the CPU in terms of like if you have more RAM is better graphics. That's not how it works. More RAM gives you options. But what RAM mostly does is losing my train of thought. RAM gives you it helps. It's not totally necessary, but RAM helps. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, okay, RAM
to have a lot of RAM, I mean, is not totally necessary, but
it's going to be able to
enough.
load more things on and remember more things in real time when it's happening.
Yeah, it's like short term. Short term memory is what RAM is best for. It's 64 gigs is what you could store games on, but as far as like what memory you need in the short term as you're using the device
in real time,
that's what RAM is for.
Yes. My question is, I mean, how's that? What if it's 8? Is that going to affect the way we get this upscaling, this supposed DLSS upscaling that's going to make this thing look so good?
Of course, because more RAM means better. It's always better to have more RAM. It's always, if you're building a PC, always put more RAM in it because you can never have enough, especially as you go with the times. But what I will say is that Nintendo is gonna whatever they choose, if it's 8, 12, 16, whatever they choose, it's gonna be optimized properly because iPhones
and their games are going to be optimized
products
to use that.
Again, I always use the example of Apple and iPhones because it's easy because everyone has one and everyone kind of it's a good example. They use less RAM than like the competitors, Windows or Android phones. Windows and Android uses way more RAM than iPhones do, like that natively on the device. But Apple is better optimizing their devices to use less. So Nintendo, for a gaming console, is going to optimize what is necessary for the games running on the system to whatever RAM they choose. So if it's going to be 8, fine. If it's going to be 12, great. If it's 16, fantastic. But 8 is going to work because they're going to optimize it. There's no way they're going to ship something out that's not optimized.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, Nintendo's definitely not a company that we usually have to worry about with stuff like that, for their own stuff anyway. I mean, just about every Nintendo game works amazing on the Switch. Just about everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a few, but I mean, yeah, mostly everything works great. I just don't see how. I don't see how this 120 hertz refresh rate bullshit's gonna happen. When it's like every single other rumor that we have in this particular leak is just downgrade. Like all of it is just downgraded. And then it's like, oh, but it's 120 frames per, like, how? What are you talking about?
The priorities are not straight if that's true. Like that the hertz of the screen is not what's going to sell the console. It's not.
No, nobody's going to care about that.
Performance is not going to sell
not
it either.
Nintendo, actually. Not the actual main people that buy Nintendo consoles. They're not. If you can say, I think we covered this, but if you can say 4K on the box, even if it's upscaled, docked, that's where you're gonna.
So again, I just said something. I'm gonna say it again if you didn't hear it. Performance is not gonna sell a console either. That's not why they need to put more performance, better hardware in the system. Why they need to put better hardware in the system is so they can get more games on this console, because that's what's going to sell this console. Is if I'm seeing Baldur's Gate in the chat here, if Baldur's Gate 3, a brand new release that people are excited for, that just won Game of the Year, if that's on the console, that makes your console better. So now you have the Game of the Year on your console. Nintendo did not have the Game of the Year on their gaming console this year. Maybe that's why sales were down. Who knows? I mean, there's many reasons why. It's because it's getting older and older. That's the main reason. But maybe they would have sold more if Baldur's Gate could run in the damn thing. If the new AAA titles can come out in the system, not just Nintendo AAA titles, but all the other ones.
I know that we need that now. We need that.
And in order to get that happening, you need better performance.
It just needs to be easy to port. It can't be what it's been. It can't be
what makes it
an
easy
entirely different team
hardware.
Trying to turn the game into something completely different to get it to work on a system that is completely underpowered and basically just runs everything completely different. You have to be able to give them the tools they need to make it easy to go, just as easy it is to go from PlayStation to Xbox. It needs to be just that easy to put it on a Switch.
Like Alex just said in the chat, future-proofing for third party. That's what
we need.
And 8 would work. Like you asked the question, would 8 work? Yes. Would it future-proof for third party? No.
Not even close.
16 is going to future-proof for third party. That's what 16 is what the Steam Deck has. And 8 is if you can math.
16 is what it needs.
If you can math, 8 is half of 16. But the Nintendo Switch is better.
I did know that.
Good. The Nintendo Switch is better optimized than the Steam Deck is. So the Steam Deck needs more RAM to keep up. That's always a debacle, right? The Nintendo Switch doesn't need as much to keep up. But to future-proof, it's going to need more RAM. And 16 is a good number to put in if I'm paying $400 for this device or more, depending on screen technology, cartridge slots, and whatever rumors and leaks are coming out. To wrap this segment up in a bow, these specs would make sense, but that's not enough. I don't think it's enough. I think we deserve better for the next console, and to future.
We do.
And to
we deserve better.
And to future-proof.
We need better.
Yeah, we need better.
We need more.
You know what else we need more of, Drip? We need more of the Drip and Jeeb merch on people's bodies, dude. Because today's podcast is sponsored by Drip and Jeeb. Right now, you guys can go to dripandjeeb.shop and you can get yourself a nice little t-shirt that Drip's not wearing, but he does have the hat right there. My hat's on display back there. But you can get yourself a nice, actually Drip's hat, your hat's backwards because I have your screen mirrored, but that's okay. He's got the t-shirt right there too. You guys get yourself a little t-shirt. This is a limited, if you're audio listeners, I apologize, but this is a limited edition release. I'm dying, hold on.
Totally wearing it.
Excuse me, perfect ad. This is limited edition release t-shirt, hoodies, crew necks, hats. Get it while it's still there. It's going to be leaving the store in the next few weeks, so make sure to get there. The promo code is preorder10. I should update that, but it's not because it's not pre-order anymore because you're getting
not pre-order. They're shipping, baby.
They're shipping. But yeah, get yourself a t-shirt. It supports the show, helps us grow, helps us get stuff like our brand new logo, which we got. Really appreciate you guys. And also memberships. If you guys would join us to become a member, we do extra content every month. We didn't do December.
We do.
Because Drip and I got very sick in December, and we were never able to make it up for you guys. So I'm sure at some point we'll make it up for you in the near future. But for now, January 1's going to happen at the last Friday of every month. That's what we've decided. So
yes,
it'll probably be the 26th of January. It'll be the next.
It's going to be great.
Members pod.
Feeling good about this one. And I feel like maybe, you know what we should do? Since we missed one, we should just do some sort of stream or maybe even just a video. We could just play a bunch of funny games.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be very fun.
That could be the extra one that we missed. We'll make it up. We'll do something funny. Something real funny.
I like it a lot.
You're welcome.
But cool. So make sure to become a member to stay up to date with all that. That's all the monetization stuff for this channel. So if you want to support us in with your wallets, we appreciate it. If not, we're very happy with you tuning in for our audio and video content. Thank you guys. So moving on, Drip.
Great job.
Again, Nintendo Life, thank you guys for helping support today's podcast in terms of content. We noticed that Nintendo's stock is up. I think they posted an article this morning. And Nintendo's stock is at an all-time high at the moment. And the speculation is that that's due to the fact that the Switch 2 hype right now is at an all-time high. I think the Switch 2 has never been more hyped than I think right now.
As soon as we crossed over into this year, man.
Yeah. Everybody knows
everybody who cares is just like, yes, let's do it.
Everybody knows. We've had moments in the past couple of years where it's been a lot, but this does not compare to right now. And it's proving with people's, it's proving with Nintendo's stock right now because it's at 70 something right now. I don't know the exact number, but it's high. And it's the highest it's ever been by a little bit of a margin. So that's a very interesting note. And speaking of Switch 2, because that's what the whole episode has been about, we're going to be talking about the name of the next console. Drip, off the top of the dome, what is your favorite name? What if you're going to buy the Nintendo Switch tomorrow, you're going to walk into Walmart, throw down your money, and say, give me the blank. What is the name of the thing? What do you want it to say in the box?
Give me the Super Nintendo Switch or we fucking riot. We riot. Super Nintendo Switch or we riot. We will burn every Walmart to the ground. Every Target, every Best Buy, every GameStop. Super Nintendo Switch or we riot.
I'm in total agreement. I think it's an easy one, especially when you look at this render that I don't know where they got this from, Nintendo Life, but I'm gonna show it on stream here.
Yeah, put your names in the chat. We'll read some of those.
Oh yeah, please in the chat, people, please put your names in there. But there is this beautiful. Oops, that's the wrong thing. There's this beautiful device right here. It's just gorgeous. It's the Switch, but also that logo. Oh my God!
It's awesome. It's so cool.
And the only thing I want is to put the two Joy-Con logo, the Switch Joy-Con logo. You know what I'm talking about? It's got but that logo side by side to it. Other than that, this font, the way it's basically the Super. It looks like Super Nintendo.
It's a Super Nintendo font. Yeah,
it's the Super Nintendo font with Switch underneath, and if you add the Joy-Con thing there, it's just oh my god! Like that's what I want it to be. I want nothing more than that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I would be so happy if it was just called the Super Switch. We were done. Like, okay, or the Super Nintendo Switch.
Right. But Drip, you know what would be fun? To go over some names that possibly this thing could be called. Play the music, Drip. Play it.
No, hold on. Whoa.
No, play
it.
Play it.
Whoa. You ready to go there?
Yeah, I do.
We're going there.
Yes.
I don't know about that. Wait, are we doing a game? Is this happening?
No, it's not a game, but I think it fits. I think it fits well. Because some of these names on this list here for Nintendo Life, they get a little silly.
Yeah, I got some too. I found a whole nother thing.
I know you do. So we're going to go over these ones from Nintendo Life first, and then Drip has a list that I don't know about that has funny names on it. We're going to go over those too. But first up on Nintendo Life's article here, Nintendo Switch 2. I think that is obvious.
Let's talk about that for a second before we go really far.
For sure.
Not gonna stay on it forever. I talked about this in a video months ago when I said they need to call it something different because of I went over it in the whole video. I went all over the Wii U, the Wii to Wii U stuff, all the things. I said I don't think that they should call it the Switch 2 at that point, but I feel like knowing what we kind of know about it now, just knowing that it's not going to be something completely different, it's probably just going to be an iteration of what we already have, just better with more power. I think calling it the Switch 2 is probably all right. I was worried about people getting confused, but I don't really think that's going to happen as long as it's just the Nintendo Switch 2 very clearly. I just don't know if they're going to do that. That's the thing. I don't know if they're going to do that. I don't know if Nintendo will let that happen.
I hope
They've
they
never
don't.
done it before.
I hope they don't. I think that is a good plan B for me. I think if there's anything that it could be called, I think plan B is Switch 2. But plan A is Super Nintendo Switch. I mean, that's not even close.
All right, what else you got? Hit me.
The next on the list here is Super Nintendo Switch. Of course, we've already gone over that. We both love it. They rank it at a B minus. I'm at the wrong screen here. They rank it at a B minus, which I don't appreciate. I think that's low. That's bad.
That is very low. A B minus?
A B minus, or they say likelihood. They don't rank it that. They just
the likelihood of it happening.
Yeah,
I think it's lower than a B minus actually.
Really?
As far as the name goes, I think it's an A plus. But the likelihood of them actually doing it.
They also said Switch 2 was a likelihood of D, which that's also low for me.
I feel like that one's higher than Super Nintendo Switch.
I would agree. In terms of like reality, yeah, I think Switch 2 is more likely, but I want Super Nintendo Switch. Okay. Moving on, Drip, my favorite one. I'm gonna start reading their descriptions. I have not read the descriptions yet, but I imagine they're the funniest things on the planet. So the next option here is Nintendo Switch U, which Drip and I, of course, have a better version, the Nintendo Switch Pro U2 Deluxe, or whatever the hell we called it.
The U2.
The Switch U2, that's right. Oh my God. Okay, so here's the description. Oh goodness, look, it's probably not going to happen, but we have to at least consider the possibility that Nintendo might actually bring back the dreaded U branding and represent its failure with the Wii U's moniker.
They won't. I can tell you why. I can tell you. Okay, I know this is a 0% chance, not only for the reasoning that they completely fucked themselves over by doing that and confused a bunch of people. It wasn't just the name. It was a lot about the marketing too. But there was a reason that it was called the Wii U.
Yeah.
The Wii was about us playing together with the Wiimotes and being there together doing the thing. The Wii U was supposed to be their attempt to go back towards hardcore gamers. So it was more about you know,
8 gigabytes of RAM. Hardcore gamers need 8 gigabytes of storage.
That was their plan, though. That was the plan. It was supposed to.
What a disaster.
It was supposed to appeal to your Xbox, Halo guys. Like that's what they were trying to do. They wanted to get more of that crowd on a Nintendo system.
Excuse me.
So they had this whole thing. Reggie did like a whole speech about it, like. It's you, the play, like the whole thing. It was very weird. It did not land at all. But that's basically what it was.
Yeah. So likelihood F, I would agree. Nintendo Life.
Yeah, that's not happening. There's no way. It doesn't even make sense.
No, but it's funny to see it.
The only way
It's
it would
funny
make
to
sense is if they did this. If they made it, and like it is actually like a really hardcore version of the Switch, and it's got no Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
So it is just for you.
Right.
You can't give a Joy-Con to a friend. It's the Switch you. Oh God, I don't even want to think about that.
Moving on, Drip. Then here's the next one, which I hate this option.
The new Nintendo Switch.
Oh God, I hate it. I hate it so much. Yeah, no, thank you. It's obviously this is we're talking about the 3DS
I feel
branding
like it's possible.
here.
I feel like it's pretty possible.
Oh my! If they do it, I would rather them go Switch U, like so much so. Like the new thing makes no sense, and it's going to confuse so many consumers way farther than the Switch U is going to confuse them. Let me tell you, the new thing, it worked
with the 3DS.
No, it did. I mean, technically it did, but let me tell you something.
It did.
If it was possible to have the reports of all the grandmothers who bought games for little Timmy and Jimmy, and they accidentally bought a new Nintendo 3DS game for a kid who only had the regular one, I bet it happened so much. I bet it happened a million times.
I mean, that's not a problem for Nintendo.
No, it's a problem with the consumer. I'm totally against it. Totally against it.
I don't think it was too bad with the 3DS, but it's fine. That's probably not going to be it. What's the next one? Nintendo Switch Plus?
Yeah, no thanks. No thanks.
I don't see that happening.
I don't even like it. We reckon we're still in the realm of realistic possibility with this one. Nintendo Switch Plus is a good way to differentiate the next console from the current product without resorting to numbers. It's alright. I mean, it's not the worst thing, and it's not the worst thing on the list, but I don't like it.
No, that's not enough. That's not just a plus.
Just a plus sign. Yes.
That doesn't sound like anything significant. That sounds like, what is it? Bigger?
Right.
Is it bigger? I don't know.
That's what phones do.
So many...
Yeah.
I don't like that one at all.
Yeah. Moving on. Now this one I have a nostalgic funny bone for. The Switch Advanced. Or Switch Advance. Obviously we're talking about the Game Boy Advance logo, but just slap it on the end of the Switch logo. I like this one. But I'm not the biggest fan. As far as you guys know, where my allegiance leads on this one. Not my favorite one, but if we're gonna go with a weird one, and it's not gonna be the Switch, Super Nintendo Switch, Game Boy Advance would be really cool. I think that'd be kind of cool to see. But I don't think that's what they should go with. Drip, I'm sure you agree with me.
Yeah, I mean, I got nothing really to add to that. I mean, it's fine. I think that one at least gives you some, like, okay, advanced, like that's better.
It's better.
That's better. Like that word, I know in my head, and most people when they see that are gonna say, "Oh, that's a better thing." I know that's a better thing, not just a bigger thing. That's a better thing.
Right.
So that's not terrible. I don't like it though. No.
I'm gonna go this far. I don't want to show what the last one is because it's funny. Next one up, the second to last one, Nintendo Switch Up, and this is a bit of a visual. We're getting silly now. We're getting silly.
Nintendo Switch.
Their logo
the
is
Switch is up there.
Yeah.
I get it.
So, audio listeners, you take the Switch logo with the Joy-Cons and everything. Just draw an arrow from the word Switch above the logo and move the word Switch. Nintendo Switch Up.
That is ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I like it. Time
It's
to
silly.
switch things up. No? Hello? Anyone? F. Yeah, obviously. No shit. All right. This is the second to last one. I lied. Next one is Nintendo Switchin' Time.
Is this a Power Ranger reference?
Yep.
That's so stupid.
Mighty Morphin Nintendo
Switch. I love it.
Okay.
I love it. Listen, dude, I used to be a huge
me too, dude. Me too.
Dude, what day did it was like one day a week. It was on like Wednesdays or something,
I
on
don't
Wednesday
remember.
mornings or
I
something.
watch
Like the new
reruns, but
episode
yeah.
of Power Rangers came on, dude.
Yeah.
I was fucking jacked
Dude,
to get up for school that morning.
For me though, Power Ranger, I was in the when Power Rangers was coming out. I believe I was, of the age of playing with toys. I was a little kid.
So was I.
I wasn't. Yeah. So, but I was watching reruns and shit. So yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter. The point is, Power Ranger toys. Oh,
Dude.
better than the show. Better than the
I had
show.
them all, dude. Oh my god. There was this set of steps at my mom's house to go up to my bedroom. Yeah, action figures, dude. Chill. I used to tie strings. I don't know why I did this. I would tie strings to their hands, like on big spools, and like launch them from the top of the steps, like they're like rappelling into something.
Yeah.
I thought that was like the funnest thing ever. I don't know why I did that. That's not terrible. It's never gonna happen. I like Power Rangers, so I'm with it. It's morphin' time.
The logo is really it's clearly a joke.
Yes, it's obviously a joke. It's funny.
They just slapped the Switch logo on top of a Power Ranger morphing into a new Power Ranger, whatever the hell it did. Moving on, the last one, until Drip's list, which I'm very excited to hear.
Oh, they're terrible. They're so bad.
The Nintendo Switch, please. And that's a play on bitch, please. Nintendo bitch, please. Yeah, it's a meme. I don't know. You gotta see it. I'm sorry if you're listening. This is just a meme.
Yeah, it's funny, but please, seriously, Nintendo, please.
Yeah. Oh, in likelihood.
Please.
Oh, please. Love it.
Whatever.
That Nintendo Life, good stuff. I love finding that stuff on your website. It's awesome.
I sent the new list.
Oh, did you now?
The Discord. Yeah, I gave it to you.
All right. So I'm gonna pull it up here.
So this is from Digital Trends. They came up with the worst possible names for the Nintendo Switch that they could think of for the Switch 2, and there are some really fucking bad names on this list.
All right.
The first one, if you go down, the first one,
Yeah, Switch 2.
Switch 2 with Roman numerals. We don't, I don't think we need to go Roman numerals.
No, the speed of confusing. Americans are idiots. So you try to sell to the North American market, they'll be like, huh?
They're going to be confused about that. Yeah, okay. So this one is actually kind of interesting because, the Switch was the NX. That's what we knew it as before it came out. So this would be the Nintendo Series NX. Kind of play off the Series X.
Creative, yes.
I don't hate that. It's bad, but it's fun. It is whatever. This one, I've been talking about my 5G Switch. The Switch 2 Ultra 5G UW.
What the hell is
what
the
does
UW
mean?
What does it mean?
That's for your confused mom to figure out the week of Christmas.
Oh my God, the Game Box X. My mom would call the Xbox or PlayStation. Either one. It could be. Could be our Game Boy Advance handheld. She'd be like,
"The Game Box
Can you get
X.
the Game Box X? Put your Game Box X down. We need to have a conversation." The Switch 2 Ultra 5G UW.
Oh my God, I'm crying. Okay, hang on.
That's good. I love it. That's
the Ultra 5G UW. Okay? Next one on the
Love
list.
it,
And
love
I
it.
don't know why. If you want to read this thing, you can.
I
the
will.
Nintendo Switch N27S QD OLED Mini Generation 2.
I don't know what they're saying in the article, but I'll tell you one thing. The reason they went with this is because if you've seen some TV technology names, the TV technology these days, they're naming it they're just like adding shit, man. Like mini LED, QLED,
yeah.
Ultra Mini. It's like some of these names are they're just like
Hero was
that.
trying to help
It's
me
just
pick a new
like
monitor the other night. I was like, what the fuck is
yeah, it's like
stupid.
I consider myself like a tech enthusiast. I was confused at some of this TV tech.
Yeah,
like what are they?
not a good one,
What
but
are they
that's funny.
doing?
Okay, listen.
All right,
the next one is my favorite one of all of them.
I don't want to spoil it. So I'm only scrolling so far.
The next one is the Nintendo Switch D4.
Switch D4. Look, I'm not gonna dignify this one with a blurb. I said these were our worst names, okay?
Come on, that's good. The Nintendo Switch D4. Nintendo 64. Come on, it's funny, man.
It's cute. I like that. That's cute.
That's the one I said earlier. I'm like, dude, it's like a dad joke, but if the shoe fits.
If Nintendo had dad jokes.
This is what the Nintendo Switch D4. Okay, the next one is just the Nintendo. We're gonna get real minimal with it.
That's
We're just gonna call
appropriate,
it
though. That's appropriate.
The Nintendo. We're gonna
Yeah.
put it in a white box with nothing on it. It's just gonna say the Nintendo on it.
Yeah. I like it.
There's nothing crazy.
That's the least. That's the least worst name on this list.
Oh, it's the best name on the list, like in reality.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, besides the Switch 2 Ultra 5G UW,
Yeah, I mean,
because that's good.
to have
That's
your
it.
mom.
That's my list.
To have
I
your
hope you
mom,
like it. Hope you like the list.
To have your mom figure it out.
That's the week of Christmas.
That's I'm glad you shared that with us, Strip. Oh my God, the music's fading. Or did you do that?
I didn't do that.
Oh my God, it's perfect. That was perfect.
Can't believe it.
We did exactly 15-minute segment. That was beautiful. Everybody in the chat, stick around. We're gonna be doing the after show, but you guys hanging out for audio stuff, and if you're watching this as a video archive on YouTube, we appreciate you guys hanging out. Make sure to leave in the comments all of your stuff, what your Switch names are gonna be, and all the other garbage we spoke about in this podcast today. Make sure to let us know in the comments how dumb we are. I'm sure we're idiots, so tell us that. But for the rest of you guys, we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.